Imagine you wake up, open your portfolio, and one of your stocks is down 10%. The first thing you need to know is simple. Did something actually happen to the company, or this is just a market noise? Most investors waste the next 30 minutes jumping between Twitter, Yahoo Finance, YouTube, Reddit, and random headlines. But after all of that, they still don't know the most important thing. Is the investment thesis still intact? So I built an AI agent that tracks my stocks like a Wall Street analyst. I give it a list of tickers, it checks the latest news, SEC filings, earnings updates, analyst actions, and major company events. Then it filters out low quality noise and creates a simple morning brief. For every stock, it tells me what happened, why it matters, whether the news is bullish, bearish, or mixed, how significant it is from 1 to 5, and whether the thesis is intact, need monitoring, or may be broken. This is not a magic stock picker. It does not tell me what to buy or what to sell. It just helps me quickly analyze which stocks need attention and which moves are probably just noise. Before I show how I built it, let me show the result. For this demo, the agent checked 3 stocks: Nvidia, ARM, and Intuit. And this is the dashboard I generated. Nvidia mixed, significance 4 out of 5. Thesis needs monitoring. Action, investigate deeper. ARM, bullish, significance 3 out of 5. Thesis intact. Action, monitor. Intuit, bearish, significance 4 out of 5. Thesis needs monitoring. Action, investigate deeper. This is the part I care about, not 200 headlines, not random opinions, just a clear answer. Which stocks need more attention, which stock is worth monitoring, and which move is probably just noise. Here is the problem with normal stock research. If I search Nvidia stock news, I don't get an answer. I get an ocean of headlines, analyst targets, random blogs, portfolio holdings updates, AI hype articles. In the raw file, the tool collected more than 80 Nvidia headlines. But 80 headlines is not analysis, it's just more noise. So the real value of this agent is not collecting news, the real value is filtering it. I want the agent to answer one question. Did anything happen what actually affects the investment thesis? The workflow is simple. Watch list in, news and filings checked, raw evidence collected, Claude Code reads the evidence, noise gets filtered, final analyst brief comes out. I'm not using the Anthropic API here, I only use Claude Code. The local tool collects the raw evidence from news and SEC filings, and then Claude Code turns that evidence into investor-style brief. So the system has two jobs. First, collect information, and second, decide what actually matters. And that second part is where most investors struggle. Because the hard part is not finding headlines, the hard part is knowing which headlines matter. This is the input, just 3 tickers for this example: Nvidia, ARM, and Intuit. Full disclosure, from these 3 companies I own only Nvidia. That's it. The reason I picked these 3 is because they show the different cases. Nvidia is mixed, ARM is bullish, Intuit is bearish. So the agent is not just saying everything is good or everything is bad, it's separating the situation. That's what I want from an analyst workflow. Now let's look at Nvidia first. The agent marked Nvidia as mixed. Significance 4 out of 5. Thesis needs monitoring. Action, investigate deeper. Why? Because there was a real company specific news. Nvidia filed a 10Q and an 8K. It also had reports of a record $80 billion buyback. But the stock still fell because the market saw the guidance is muted. So this is exactly where investors get confused. The company beats expectations. The company announced a huge buyback, but the stock goes down. The agent helps me separate the two things. The business may be still strong, but expectations may have been even higher. So the stock reaction could be about expectations, not necessarily a broken thesis. Then the agent flags the China commentary. It says this could matter because if Nvidia is really losing part of the China AI chip market to Huawei, that could affect the long-term bull case. But it also warns me. This quote came from medium quality source, so before changing my view, I should verify it again, the actual company transcript or filings. That's useful. It does not panic, it does not blindly trust one headline, it tells me what to check next. Now compare that with ARM. ARM was the bullish example. The stock reportedly jumped to 52-week high or all-time high after bullish analyst notes about the cloud and CPU demand. The agent marked it bullish, but only 3 out of 5 significance. And the action is monitor, not investigate deeper. That's important because the stock can go up a lot without new company filing or new fundamental disclosure. So the analyst says this supports the AI narrative, but it's not yet a thesis changing event. That's the right balance. It recognizes the bullish move but does not overreact. Now, Intuit is the bearish example. The agent marked it as bearish. Significance 4 out of 5. Action investigate deeper. Why? Because Intuit reported Q3 earnings, filed a 10Q and 8K, and the stock fell around 20%, and the report flagged the weaker TurboTax outlook plus a 17% workforce reduction. That's not a random noise. That's something worth reading. Again, the agent is not telling to sell into it. It's telling this deserves attention. Read the filings, check if TurboTax weakness is temporary or structural, check if the workforce reduction is efficiency driven or sign of pressure. That is exactly kind of analytics I want. Now very quickly, here's how I built it. I use Claude Code to build a small local project. It has normal project files and source code, but for this video there are only few files I really need to show you. The watchlist file is the input, the local app collects news and seg filings. The evidence file stores the raw data. The prompt file tells Claude Code how to think like an analyst. And the final brief is the output. The first version was not good enough. It collected headlines but it did not filter them well. So I improved the prompt. I told Claude Code, do not summarize every headline. Focus only on material investor news. Separate facts from interpretation. Use source quality. Score significance from 1 to 5 and never give buy or sell recommendations. The dashboard format also came from the prompt. Green means ignore noise, yellow means monitor, orange means investigate deeper, and red means urgent review. That makes the report much easier to scan. The final prompt also limits each ticker to 3 key facts, one short explanation, 3 things to monitor, and 3 sources, which keeps the report readable for video. Now, this is not perfect. The agent can miss things. Google News can collect low quality headlines. Some tickers are hard to research. ARM is a good example because ARM is also normal English word, so the raw news can include unrelated stories, and AI can still misunderstand something. So I don't use this as a final answer, I use this as a first filter. If the agent says significance 4 out of 5, I still read the filings myself. But now I know where to focus, and that's the real value. Before this, my process was messy. Stock moves, I open 10 tabs, I read random opinions, I still don't know what matters. Now, the process is much cleaner. If you enjoyed this educational video, consider subscribing to the channel to see more educational content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.